with the events that happened yesterday with Joe Biden deciding not to seek re-election and then endorsing Kamala Harris and the groundswell of support that was following. I had been reached out to by another listener of the Rational Boomer podcast who wanted to do a show with Mike and myself. Um, and we have been kind of talking about making it happen. Well, with all the events that happened, we got the show recorded last night. It is up today. I am a guest again on the Rational Boomer podcast. There's another listener, Jason, who is also on the podcast with me, and the Rational Boomer as well, of course. Now, it's a great show. We went a little long, but we talked about a lot about this whole breaking news of Joe Biden not wanting to run and Kamala Harris basically looking to be the heir apparent at this point. About some of the complications going forward and the Republican reaction to this and everything else. So, if you like my content, I recommend you go give it a listen. Another good podcast episode with the Rational Boomer. You can find his link here on TikTok. If you go over to Rational Boomer, he's got a link tree. I'm going to tag him below. Otherwise, you can find his podcast on Spotify or anywhere else where you get the podcast. You can get the audio form. It's also over on YouTube. Just look for Rational Boomer, and you will find today's podcast, which is, like I said, a conversation between Mike, Jason, and myself. Very good show. Recommend you give it a listen. And I don't know when I'll be back on the podcast, but I know I'll be back on at some point.